There's a new movement that's reigning over the game development and gaming space. It's called Stop Killing Games, a fancy name for a movement against the, of course, killing of video games. The thing is, day by day, new games are being released, but the problem is players or people who actually buy the games have no actual way of knowing whether the game they are playing or they are paying for will last. Us as humans have strong connections with almost anything, like video games and the community of a video game. And so it's really hard for humans and gamers, especially those sober people who spend their time watching anime girls, have a really hard time digesting that the video game they spend almost their life playing will no longer be accessible for them to play. This sparked the question that should the game development studios be allowed to shut down video games that the community loves, because you're paying for the video game, so you should be able to have the right to not let the game shut down. This sparked a movement which turned into a really big commotion due to certain YouTubers commenting over it. Pirate software. The thing is, the movement is quite successful right now. They are filing a petition in the EU, and to just a reminder, the EU are the guys that literally forced Apple to change their freaking old Lightning port to the good new C port, arguably. But will it be effective is totally up to the results. But the thing is, the petition needed signatures, and it's literally 95% of its ways. I mean, just a few days and maybe they will be on the goal, which means it is quite sure that this petition will be kind of working. Now, it does depend on the decision that's being rolled out, but it's quite apparent that the movement is quite and really successful in those terms. Today I want to put up forward my thoughts on the movement plus some general facts using my own clean brain. So let's get started. There are two aspects to this movement: for consumer and as the developer. As a game dev and as a gamer myself, I think I have quite authority over this question, and I think I can answer it way better than certain people who don't even know what game developers and indies go through. First of all, I want to put forward my thoughts as a consumer. To me, it kind of sounds like music to my ears that video games that I love will last for almost forever. Most of the time, a lot of video games, especially like Minecraft, are run on community-based servers. These are, I would say, the optimal way of playing a video game. Many popular games, including Minecraft, Ark, Grand Theft Auto 5. I pronounce it wrong. Grand Theft Auto. I don't know why they named it like that. 5. And there are a lot more than that, but I would just drop these names. These video games are run on community-run servers. That means no matter what happens to the game, so long as the players have a copy of the game, they might be just able to host a video game. But nowadays, even using piracy, it's hard to play video games. A game is released, people play it, and within a certain amount of time, when developers decide that they want to kill their old titles so their new titles get new attention, they shut them off and the quote-unquote support for the game. That means the game which required an internet connection no longer works. Due to company-owned servers, mostly for multiplayer games, it's almost impossible for players to run their games even if they do go to the route of piracy. Due to this thing, internet has done so many movements. From the start of this era of companies hosting things, the movements have started in these directions. Take streaming, for example. With the start of streaming services, we have started to lose more and more control over our products. We can no longer access video games or even movies. I think I flipped that. movies and even video games. That was a good one. The For example, Netflix. There are movies there that we love, but there's no telling one day your favorite titles, your childhood memories, your favorite characters will no longer, maybe, no longer. No. What the hell was I gonna? No longer. Yeah, that's right. No longer available. Yeah, editor, cut that shit. But the problem is simple. If you can just go ahead and archive it. Movements like the Internet Archive are archiving things like copies of offline video games and console exclusives, things that are out of barrier for some people and in future might not be available, so they are archiving it for the future. But the problem is simple. When online service games, for example, Fortnite, no matter what you do, how many copies of Fortnite you save into the Internet Archive, when the official support for servers will end, you'll be doomed to hell. I'm not really a Fortnite player, so I don't really trust me, this is embarrassing, but I literally don't know how Fortnite operates on its base operations and hosting of servers. But just to tell you that there are so many video games that rely on servers and authentication developed and placed by the companies, that if the companies decide that you can't play the game, you can't. Games like Minecraft are kind of literally available forever if Mojang doesn't do something, but most of the time you can literally play the game whenever you want. You don't have to bend down to a company shutting down. For example, I have players, I've known friends that are playing on literally like 1.2 servers because they have built such a community that they don't think they can leave it, or they just enjoy those versions more than the new ones because they just kind of enjoy the simplicity and whatever. It's their thought. I like the new versions. But the thing is, everyone loves this stuff in their own way. If you as a consumer cannot have a control over things that you are actually paying, the upcoming video games like the upcoming GTA 6, you might have to draw over $150. As a comparison, that's a little bit less than the amount my whole family of 7 people spends on food for a whole month. So not everyone is as privileged as your neighbor's kid in the US. Everyone doesn't have the money to afford a really hard video game or really expensive video game. So in result, I just want to say some of these words from my heart, that do you still expect people to not pirate or steal when you're literally making them pay this much for the video games, and then it's not certain if it will last. There was a video game by Sony, I'm not exactly sure, but it's Corosnal or C, so I'll leave the name in the screen. It literally ended in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. People paid $40 for a video game that literally ended its support in 2 weeks. I mean, can you believe it? And come on, it can be tolerated by a simple small studio, but oh my god, Sony is a giant. They get loads of money. They can, I know the video game might be ass or whatever, but I'm pretty sure someone who paid $40 at the very least wanted to play the video game like a year later. At the very least, they should be able to play the video game a year later. For example, I'm a YouTuber. I pay for the game. Maybe a year later I want to make a video about like, oh, dead games or old games that were really bad. So I'll just go ahead and like, oh, I want to play that game. It's a multiplayer game, no support, so it's dead. Maybe it's playable, trust me, but come on, with support ended, the game is mostly dead. I know some developers might want to move on. Now I want to just put up my perspective as a developer. As a creative, I always want to have control over things that I create, no matter what happens. I want to have like a control over things that I create, so it should be my decision if I want to shut it down. But I should also consider that I am making people pay for it. If if I have a free game, to be honest, a video game like Fortnite wouldn't hurt me too much. It would hurt you. It would. That's bad too. But I think at the very least, video games that you are paying for, games like Fortnite, you have like maybe it's free, but you're dropping so much on skins. If you're shutting down the game, refund all the money, or at the very least make the game, the solution that the petitioners are asking for, which is I think really good, is to let the community host this service. Like maybe it happens for Team Fortress 2 or 1 or something like that. A recent Valve game, they just like made it available for the public, so you can just mod it, you can create video games. They just gave the community the source code. Go play with it. You want to create your video games, do it. You want to host your service, do it. Well, like, come on, every company cannot be like Valve. They cannot be the greatest company of all time. I know Valve have their differences. They have their bad sides. You can really expect anything good from companies, but they have done some good stuff, I would say. So, what's the solution? To be honest, the solution is the problem for me. Companies have a long history of doing shit against petitions. For example, this petition does succeed. What will the companies do? Maybe they'll try to find workarounds. They will literally, hurt the players. Of course, companies wouldn't do that for because they don't want to piss off people too much because they're literally making them pay for them. But trust me, I'm pretty sure there will be some companies that will literally use their anger in them to go over the players and in a small way annoy them. There's gonna be some stuff here. I'm literally predicting this, not my words. There's gonna be some kind of black backlash from the gaming community, like game development community. As a developer, I am still not very sure about the movement myself as well, because is some slight caveats. There's some stuff that I still, crunch my teeth. I I can't really put my finger in it, but it's that there's literally something bit off about this. When I go through a development phase, I think to myself, what will I have to do if there's for example, a law that about requires me to keep my game up for forever, or at the very least give it to my community or the people that have paid for it. First of all, I might not want to share. For example, I develop something like a patent system or a secret system. I don't want to give it to people. Open source is literally optional. If you don't want to do it, it's extremely unfair if a rule or a law that would force you to do that. Then community host servers have major problems like people creating private servers. But if you are literally shutting down the game, giving it to the community isn't may not be such a good idea. But there's the thing that if you are the one who created it, why would other benefit from it? So there's some kind of a bit of a thing that egoistic thing that does come into the play. The bigger thing is I think developers will now need to think ahead of time. If I'm creating a video game, I will need to think when will be the time that this video will need to retire. And for a creative that I'm talking as an indie, I don't really care or know about AAA industry. Go ask Pirate Software or someone else. But as a indie, I just kind of think that it's really hard for me to think about my video game ending. Like it's really hard to most of the indies, some I'm talking about a bit of a faction, just create video games, update them for a year and sleep on them. But if you're creating a multiplayer game, that's a big problem because not everyone has millions of dollars to keep hosting service for 70 players. If a game's community is dead, you should be allowed to put it to rest, give it the poison injection as pew. So I don't know what the word for putting the animals to rest. I don't know. There is a word. I don't know. I can't remember. But the thing is, there needs to be some sort of relief for people who cannot really afford to host the service. Of course, give them community-based service, but I'm not sure if everyone wants that. There is the thing of liberty. If you don't want to do it, there should be some way that at the very least some sort of workaround that legal workaround that makes you, authority, gives you the authority that you don't have to make it public for people to host their service. At the end, I would just say that community host servers aren't really bad. I love them. Things like Minecraft. If I ever create a game, I will definitely make it community hosted. Not only that, I just don't want to host my own servers. I think it's really lovely that people can literally just create their own little corner of a video game. Like to me, Hypixel is magical. It's your own little video game, and with the recent stuff of being with Hytale, it just really feels like these things really form. And to me, I've said it in a video before that nothing more values to me than a community who is dedicated to my video game. If someone thinks that my video is so good that they wanna add to it, they wanna create fan games, that would be the greatest honor of all time. Maybe, okay, I think we should end here with the closing thought that as a consumer, I'm really happy. It's quite good that I will have more control over the life of my video game. As a developer, I am okay with it. I'm not thinking it's not a threat to the indie developer community at all. At all. There will be a slight change of mind, I'm sure, because with everything there comes adaptation, but I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't force hundreds of developers to stop making games or anything like that. I don't think it's going to be a big effect on the indie developers, yet there will be effect on the mindset of them. And that will be it for today's video, and I'll see you, of course, in the next one, if I don't like the video games. Oh, why isn't the recording getting turned off? Oh, it's this.